Hey everyone, we're going to start today's episode with a new segment called Jay's Jokes. Hope you enjoy.
Hey, baby, are you an entity equipment? Because I think we could click well together.
Evening, everybody. Welcome to an interview episode of Talking Clix. I am one of Wes's new potential co-hosts. My name is Mark Adler. So I'm going to give you the real brief, too long didn't read about myself. I've been playing the game since 2013. I started in the Invincible Iron Man set when back in the day, I would ride my bike to summer school and I would stop at the comic shop on my way home because uh, I was left unsupervised. And after a countertop display of Teen Titans, I said, I want a Red Hood, and I ended up buying most of the countertop display before getting a damn Red Hood. From there, it's like, well, I got them, so I might as well learn how to use them. And it's all history from there. I'm a major comic book guy. I keep up with comics as best as I can, and I've forgotten more than most people know. With us, we of course have our host Wespool,
Hello.
and tonight's interviewee Azarith Stryffe.
Hey,
Uh,
how's it going?
Evening, gentlemen. Good to see you. Um, we're going to get right off to it. If you wouldn't mind, most people know you, I'm sure, but a little bit of background, like just for the two people might be watching this who don't know.
You say that, but I mean, every competitive event I go to, I end up playing against a couple of people that don't actually know who I am, which is kind of an interesting thing because I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, I do these couple podcasts and maybe check them out. Yeah, I'm Azarith Stryffe, member of Team Clix Off. I'm also a co-host of the JSA Clix podcast, co-host of the Sudden Death podcast. If you don't listen to them and you listen to Critical Clicks, I've been on Critical Clicks with Scott and Lucas frequently. I just love talking about Heroclix, so I take every chance that I get. So, um, that's about all. Like, I don't want to go into accomplishments unless I get asked about it. That feels weird to me.
Fair enough. So, we're talking clicks. So I figure we'll start out with what's upcoming. Smash and Destroy. How are we feeling about it?
I mean, I'll feel better about it once I actually know what's going on. I have a feeling it's probably going to be similar to the Spider-Verse set. That's kind of been a track record that they've been taking for the last couple sets of there's not a ton of things that break into the meta, but there's enough that it keeps things interesting. Smash and Troy is going to have a lot of characters that people are very fond of. I'm not one of them.
I've never been a Hulk guy myself, but you know what? I do remember in that brief Disney XD synergy back in the day when they wanted to have an Avengers show, a Spider-Man show, and a Hulk show that all ran together. So they did Avengers Assemble, Ultimate Spider-Man, and Hulk and the Agents of Smash. So that is the sum totality of what I know of the Hulk. The Hulk family is what was on Hulk and the Agents of Smash.
It'll be interesting to get another set though. There's a potential that we're going to have two modern juggernauts. I don't know the last time we actually had two modern juggernauts at the same time.
And both of whom I'm wondering if number 3 is going to be fair to Midwing just because the previous two, I mean, the Collector's Trove Juggernaut is already making sort of a splash in the meta. He's just
it's very good.
The cost of what he is, and I have my own feelings about it, mostly because I rolled up to my LGS with a mind control team, and the first match I faced was Prime Colossus and that Juggernaut with his gem. So,
yep. If you're playing Mind Control, you better also be playing Prime Colossus.
Well, I haven't been playing as long as you has, but it seems like in the few years I've been playing, obviously they go really hard on DC, right? Because you only get one a year, so they make it super meta broken.
Yeah, they try to make big splashes with those ones.
Yeah, but it seems like the preceding DC or preceding Marvel set is usually a more or less a dud. I feel like it's almost to make the DC set shine brighter. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, that's very possible. That did take a little bit of a spin around when Rebirth, because Rebirth was a terrible set. That had like 2 playable figures in it. One of them was Mr. Oz. But
What's the other? Prime Black Adam?
Yeah, the other one was Black Adam. Black Adam was really good.
Yep.
And Billy Baxton in kind of combination with that. But yeah, and Smash and Destroy is the set before Lantern Legacy? Yes?
Yeah. So like
I believe so.
Yeah. And Lantern Legacy is just going to blow people apart. Like, if they mess that set up, they're crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I was super let down by Deadpool last year, so...
Deadpool had some really interesting characters. Some of the chases weren't very good. I liked all the super rares, even Vox Ignis I thought was really interesting. All the primes.
There
definitely wasn't enough good Deadpools.
Yeah. They were interesting, but not meta compatible.
Yeah, except for like out of the chases, Phoenix Wolverine had a little bit of time.
Major Logan makes a few appearances every now and then.
And if you're looking specifically at the Deadpool ones, Deadpool and Hitmonkey and King Deadpool and Elsa.
Yep.
Happen to be very fond of those recently for me.
Yep. I got destroyed at the Columbus Champion Clix by an assassin team where it's just like, well, I went straight for Deadpool Hitmonkey because I knew what a threat they were, and then the next turn he made his super senses, and the next turn he just like, okay, let's see, you're the target, bye.
Yeah. Actually, so Adepticon was the first time I really got to play King Deadpool and Elsa, and they quickly rose the ranks of one of my favorite pieces to play. The tricks that they can do as far as like things that people aren't expecting from them, and just the damage output that they have is just so good.
Yep, and the survivability, the cost.
Jeff is a monster. Jeff is the best character in Modern, in my opinion. That's facetious, but Jeff is a Adepticon.
Well, yeah, Jeff. I'm sure everybody has some feelings about Jeff if you played any Marvel Rivals at all. I was a Jeff main, and I was that player because that's the only one I was like comfortable enough because I'm just like, okay, I'm not trying to kill anybody. I'm just running around and blowing my little bubbles and making cute noises.
Yeah. If anybody has listened to the JSA Clix episode we did about my run at Adepticon, my Jeff KO'd a Prime Swamp Thing, a Death Metal Wonder Woman, and a Kevin.
All right, then.
Free Force Blast is really good when characters can't reduce damage.
And when he can knock back larger characters.
Yeah. Monster Island was a good map for me.
Yep. So, let's see. So we got Smash and Destroy coming up. Couple of repeat. I didn't get like Kraven was in the previews. We just got two. Like Kraven got a ton of love all of a sudden. You got a Prime and a Chase in Spider-Verse. Now we got 2 more versions coming in Smash and Destroy. And he doesn't seem to fit the set theme.
Yeah, he's not really what I would consider a Smash and Destroy character, but I wonder if that has something to do with the Kraven movie coming up. Just kind of
coming up. I thought it was already out.
It's already out. It flopped.
Oh, is it? When did it come out?
That's how bad it was. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson was not a good casting for Kraven.
Mid-February, I think.
Marvel said, we want you to focus on Kraven because we want to promote this movie, and didn't really tell them what he was going to do in the movie, so they just loaded up the
also, you're already operating on the back foot by saying, let's create a Sinister Six universe sans Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is tied to Marvel, and using him in their movies is low-key impossible with the contracts as they are. So, yes, it didn't get Madam Web bad reviews, but it was not well received, to my knowledge.
That's right. That shows how much I pay attention.
Yeah,
I can't wait for
maybe. I wanna have hope, but the fact that the Sentry Void is the villain, and we've got nothing but physical, physical fighters.
I think what they need to do is Void, clearly the villain, and they need to have Sentry be the one that handles it at the end of it, and then you actually establish Sentry as the dominant force in Marvel that he is in the MCU leading into Doomsday. Whether he's going to play any part in Doomsday, I can't remember if he was listed on the casting.
Who knows?
But it also is like, you can't have the Thunderbolts try to fight against Sentry hand to hand. It's just never going to be believable. They already kind of messed that up in Brave New World, where Captain America Sam Wilson went hand to hand with Red Hulk. And that's just never going to happen.
Even with the hand wave vibranium, it's still like the shot, even if all the kinetic force is absorbed, you get like one. You're right. I'm with you on that. As I think, as much I like all the casting in the Thunderbolts, I like all the characters in the Thunderbolts. I just wish it didn't feel like I have homework going into the movie, right? Like, if I want to understand who everybody in the lineup is, I need to have been tangentially aware of 5 or 6 other Marvel projects, because you get Bucky and U.S. Agent from Falcon Winter Soldier, you get Ghost from Ant-Man 2, you get Yelena from Black Widow and Hawkeye, sort of, and then Taskmaster from Black Widow, and...
I think, personally, going into the Thunderbolts movie, all you need to know is Bucky, Yelena, and then your secondary characters of Red Guardian and John Walker. And you're going to know Bucky and John Walker from one series, and you're going to know Yelena and Red Guardian from the other. I think Taskmaster was already underutilized in the Black Widow movie, and they kind of butchered it anyway. Ghost, nobody cared about.
Yeah, true enough.
I was really surprised
nobody really cared about
Ghost in there, because that movie was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I won't deny, but also Paul Rudd makes anything palatable.
Yeah.
The only good thing about Ghost is, at least in my household, is the actress that plays her. My girlfriend is a huge fan of, from when she was on whatever that show was that she was on that I don't remember the name of. She played a character called Dutch. And now I don't remember the name of the show, but...
Yeah, well, fingers crossed the thing that comes back is Oscar Isaac. God, I want more Oscar Isaac.
There's definitely rumors of him coming back to play, and I'll watch anything with Oscar Isaac. So.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think he's got I think he also holds the record of number of superheroes played by one actor, because he's Moon Knight in the MCU, he's Spider-Man 2099 in the Spider-Verse, he was Apocalypse in the Singerverse, and then there's one more. That's not the plumb my brain for it. Okay. So let's see. One question I wanted to ask, because I think about it often, sculpt reuse, both with legacy figures and with, I mean, it's over prevalent in Primes. I remember just lining up a bunch of Daxamites and Mon-El and Green Lantern Mon-El and being like, really? We couldn't put his arm out or anything to differentiate this? If you could reuse a sculpt today, what would it be and why?
That one's easy. Herald of Thunder Thor from Avengers Empire, because that sculpt was so good. It's my favorite version of Thor, and it sucked.
The dial sucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we had, 10 or 12 chases in Empire, and it was like 50-50, good and bad?
I don't even remember any of some of the good ones. Like, Beast
Demon
was okay. Venomax was good. Demon was good. Venom Wolverine was only good when played under certain scenarios.
Cough, detective, cough, cough.
God, no, Monsters was the way to play her. Pat myself on the back with that one.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I just like that she has the detective keyword.
Don't even remember the other chases. So that must mean that.
Thor. Ricky Barnes, Thor, Surfing Deadpool.
The Norrin Rad.
Norrin Rad. Another one that,
also not good.
That was the Human Torch.
I
was coming
remember
out the thing, right?
the
Yeah, the
goblet. That was War of the Realms. That was the Eternal Fire of Mist
right.
campaign.
Another bad set.
Another bad set.
Hey, that has my favorite
And also,
Spider-Man
like,
in it.
well, Avengers is only a sub theme this time, guys. And Asgardians are going to take the front. Oh, what are we going to do? Asgardians as Avengers.
I played the crap out of Prime Gamora, though. I love that figure.
We had a Prime night at my venue, and I desperately wanted to do. It was 400 points. I wanted to do Prime Gamora and Juggerduck at full, and then Cosmo and Star Lord, because then they have Safeguard Outwit, Willpower, and +1 defense.
Yeah.
Because it's a Guardians team.
Yeah, I like Prime Gamora a lot. Never could really make her work. I tried a bunch of times, and then it just never happened. But back to your question about like sculpt reuse, I think that's just a nature of the beast. Like,
yeah, it's like
never gonna go away. It's been a problem. I don't even want to say it's been a problem. It's been a thing for at least as long as I've been playing.
And all the way back to when they had fully different figures for different dial lengths. So rookie, veteran, experienced, red, blue, and yellow. It was the same sculpt with like maybe a mask removed sometimes.
Yeah, so I think people need to just kind of get over themselves when it comes to sculpt reuse. It's just gonna be a thing. Like if they do more sculpts, like primes, I can see the reasoning, the complaint that if they did more like Banshee Vox Ignis, where it's very clearly a different character, it'd probably be better. But when you have like Midnight Angel and Tila or Rogue Prime Rogue, where it really are different.
Yeah, and really just uninventive. Like, at least do like the Rogue when she absorbed. They did it as an LE in House of X. Was the Rogue that absorbed Apocalypse and killed him? At least make all of her skin blue instead of just. Anyway, I don't think sculpt reuse is a bad thing. It's just I find myself going over like old sculpts, or like I'll be digging through my silver box and my hand will go to Demon in Armor because his sculpt is obviously larger and better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just something I want.
They're pumping out however many sets a year. It's going to happen. And at the end of the day, there's more players grabbing for dials than there are for players grabbing for sculpts.
Sculpt. Yeah, I agree.
True. All right, so we did that. What else did I want to ask? I gotta get my notepad up here. All right.
As how did it feel after Adepticon finding out that? Because I was listening to your most recent episode with your podcast, and you were talking about you were shocked at how young Logan was. Did the emotional roller coaster happen more or less because he was so young, or just because you lost?
No, honestly, like finding out how young he was, I was just more blown away. I was very impressed of him as a player, the way he was able to adapt to our previous game in Swiss and made correct adjustments and really locked in for the finals. No, the roller coaster was more like being okay with like how well I did as far as getting second, because I knew I put like the work in and the team felt really good. And then kind of coming down of like having the thoughts of, man, the way things were going and the way the team was performing, the way I was playing, it really like felt like it was my tournament to win. To me, obviously every player that kind of gets that far maybe ends up having that thought. And then kind of coming up short in the dice game of dice games for that tournament. That literally comes down to, can I hit the number? And if I can't, then I'm not going to be able to win the game. That's where the kind of low came in, and then I kind of mellowed out after that.
Well, like, I'm kind of curious, as one of the most meta players in the game. Like, your name is synonymous with winning. Is the weight extra heavy on your shoulders that you feel like you have to win every game, or are you able to just kind of roll the punches and say, not everybody's going to win every time?
So that's a really good question. So after Champion Clix this year, I was really hard on myself. I did not have a good performance down in Florida. I ended up going 1-3 and dropping for the first time in 3 years. And just like didn't play the 5th round. I'm like, I'd rather just kind of decompress and reset. Had a like decent day in teams. And then when Dan and I played in the alphabet soup, I ended up going 3-2 and I didn't feel I played very well in my losses. But yeah, I hold myself to a lot of pressure to perform well because that's just what I want to do. I want to be able to perform well. And regardless of how many times I have the conversation, like I've had conversations with Lucas and it's like, hey, only one person gets to win the tournament. Like it can't always be you. So like try not to beat yourself up too much. But then you get to the finals and you lose and it's just kind of inevitable that you're going to. But yeah, I kind of hold myself to I want to perform and it's more because I know I can. So when I don't, I kind of beat myself up more than anything. Of just, I could have done more or I just didn't play well. Yeah.
Well, I asked Lucas this during his interview, and my question to him exactly was, you are a certain level of player, right? And so you know the game inside and out. You know the characters inside and out. At what point do you kind of are you able to just coast? At what point are you still really trying? Do you still really like put in the time and the practice, or do you just kind of go, "Yeah, I got this. I don't need to practice"?
So Lucas and I have very different philosophies on this. At least we did up until before Adepticon. I was not somebody who play tested. I was somebody who just kind of leaned on my natural ability and my natural skill with the game. And for the most part, it got me very far. After Champion Clix, him and I really had to sit down. Actually, the way we developed the team for Adepticon was me, Devin Owens, Jackson, Emily, and Lucas were sitting in the hotel lobby at midnight, just building the team that I was going to end up playing. And Lucas was like, "You know what I'm going to say?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "If you want to do well, you need to, one, come to the decision of what you want out of this game, out of playing competitively. And if you want to win, then you need to put the work in." So for the 2 weeks leading up to Adepticon, I actually did put more playtesting and more practice in. And I did notice a difference. So I think coasting only gets me so far, at least. I know some other players, like, it can get a little further. Like Matty G is a class example of, he may not play test for meta tournaments, but he plays a lot of Clix and he plays a lot of different stuff, and he's just a very naturally gifted player. But for me, I think I found where my limit is of getting by on my own ability, and now I need to put the work in.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. One of my experiences happened at the Michigan ROC. I think in the 4th or 5th round, I got matched up with George Masu, who has recently retired from the game. George Masu, to my knowledge, doesn't play much anymore, but what he plays, he knows inside, outside, upside down.
Mm-hmm.
So, no matter what map he gets put on, he's got the first moves locked in, and it was honestly a little demoralizing because it's a style of play that I understand is part of the game, but it's also one that kind of sucks the fun out of it. It's let me throw a traffic barrel in your face and bring Bleach up, so no powers, no improved movement, and then just making it so that your opponent can't play the game, which is a play style that is valid. It's just, like I said, it sucks the fun out. If you can come into my starting area and smash me to pieces in one go, goody for you. I respect it, because you got to get the dice rolls and you had to figure out exactly how to do that. But when I'm sitting here like, what can I do? Well, I can't take free actions. You got Beetlejuice out. Well, I can't break away from your plasticity piece. You've got a traffic barrel in my face. I can't use power to kill Leech. I can't poison Leech because you've put Stones of Merlin on him, and he's and I can't break away from him because I can't use my improved movement. It's it is what it is.
Mhm.
I've never gone terribly high competitively. I think actually for the last few like chase booster events that are LGS, I've taken second every time. And I learned that the only thing that beats a Spider-Verse spot is another Spider-Verse spot. Because the match for first place was a mirror match. We both had Hypno Hustler, and we both had the spot.
Oh, is it sealed?
It was sealed. It was
Okay.
three boosters of Spider-Verse.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, so like there's obviously different play styles and different game elements that kind of form the puzzle for competitive play that is honestly can be a lot of fun to figure out the way the puzzle fits. Usually a lot of people coming into the game, even competitively, don't practice a lot. So when they sit down at the table, they don't have that mental prep. And so now they're trying to figure it out on the fly, which is actually something that I've always excelled at. I'm very adaptable as a player, and I'm very good at figuring things out on the fly. But when you already know what to do and your opponent doesn't, now you get to adapt to the mistakes. You get a lot of value out of that. And for me, while I didn't do a lot of on-map prep or practice or playtesting, I'm constantly thinking about this game. Like my girlfriend makes fun of me, and she's like, your brain is made up, 70 to 80% Heroclix, and then like 10% D&D, 15% D&D, and like 3% me. And I'm like, it's not that bad.
And then like 0.5% to those, involuntary functions like breathing and sleeping and shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I sit at work a lot, and because I work from home and I work a desk job, I have a lot of time to just kind of sit and think about things. I think about combinations, how I want things to work together. Come up with like, if I have a team that I already know I'm playing, I'm like, oh, well, how do I do this and this and this? And that's just a lot of fun for me, of like just kind of theory crafting. Theory crafting is a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, I get that too, where I'll click into teams and I'll try and do. I'm sort of a hipster about it. I want to do something different. I think
Me too.
Like the meta is slightly stale. Slightly, it's gotten a little better with each new set, but what can you expect?
I think the meta for the last two major events has been three events. So the Ohio IC, Champion Clix, and Adepticon is the most open I've ever seen it in the 7 years I've been playing now competitively.
Right.
I mean, just looking
I
at
really like
the stats that you guys were talking about and how Colossus just dropped off all of a sudden.
There were three of them.
Yeah.
There were 3 Colossuses, and they did not do well.
Well, no, one made it to top 8. It was one my buddy was playing.
In Adepticon.
Oh, in Adepticon. I didn't go to Adepticon.
There was not a Colossus in top 8.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Columbus Icy. My buddy made top 8 with Colossus, but I definitely okay. Speaking on events, we have Heroclix for Huntington's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We excited for that?
So unfortunately, I can't go.
Same here.
It's too much pay time. It's too much PTO for me with Champion Clix into Adepticon, and then for anybody that is friends with me on Facebook, I'm having surgery in June. So unfortunately, I do have to have time off set up for that to get to my short-term disability. So unfortunately, Huntington's was off the table for me, but it's a great event. I went last year, even through the issues of air conditioning. Hopefully that is not an issue with the venue that Howard has gotten this year. But just hanging around a whole weekend with Scott is great.
Oh, for sure. That's last year I bid on a battle royale with him, and he's just one of the coolest, most genuine guys, and he's just rocking the serious nerd knowledge. He'll do the comic book breakdowns whenever he's looking at characters in unboxing videos, but truly just to and also, no matter what you ask him about, he's always got something to say. Like, I only really knew his acting from Scorpion because I binged it very briefly before I realized why, which was just that it's a catharsis show because it's a team of geniuses that has to solve problems. Everything is always at DEFCON 1. So it's like my life will never be that stressful, and that's kind of cathartic. But I asked him about it, and he talked about like actually getting death threats because his character was an impediment to the male and female lead getting together. And apparently the fandom for that was small but very fervent. But yes, all the best to Heroclix for Huntington's. I think the 5th anniversary is going to be a banger. It's not in the cards this year, which really sucks because I was really hoping to, but another time.
So for anybody that is planning on going or is kind of on the fence, just do it. If you aren't putting yourself out to do it, make the trip. It's a lot of fun. I understand that not everybody's a fan of silver. Hopefully, come Rock Cup, that the silver changes might be out. Hopefully, because honestly, Rock Cup needs to be a different format than the States were, because States was not good. As far as Darkseid being a menace, and Prime Colossus being everywhere. But going down, playing the Scott Porter versus the World Seal tournament is a lot of fun, especially if you actually get to play Scott, who, for anybody that is just listening and doesn't actually know, Scott is actually very good at this game. Like, he's not just all talk. Like, he's very good.
He whooped us in the Battle Royale.
I beat his ass in the Battle Royale that I played in.
Well, the Battle Royales are sealed.
Me, Simeon, Tony Bruto, and Scott, and I won that BR. That was a lot of fun. But,
okay.
And then the Teams 400 Extreme Highlander, honestly, I think is one of my favorite formats to play in. If you got 3 friends, build 3 fun teams and just go at it.
Yep, I totally agree. It was some of the best time I had last year. And the more you love the game, the more you get out of it, because it's just 12 hard hours of, there's always something. If you drop out of the event, there's battle royales. If you're in a battle royale, good, goody goody. Sometimes and apparently there's going to be like VR gaming now, which I'm sure is not everybody's cup of tea, but could be neat.
Good bit.
Okay, I wanted to ask, iconic sets. Any iconics you're looking forward to? If you could pick a moment from comics, a favorite moment to make into an iconics, what and why?
So iconics I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the owlbear.
Yes.
I'm a D&D player. I've been playing D&D since I was 10 years old. So
the name of the object is meta out of the box. Ring of Telekinesis. Going to change the game.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't want it to be a equipable TK. We already have one of those. And I don't know. But that's probably what it's going to do. As far as things from comics, so I'll out myself a little bit here. I'm not a big comic reader. I know a lot about comic book characters. Usually comes from characters that I really like. I read their wiki.